He said, well, there's many ways. He says, because we come from so many different countries and so many different climates that, you know, you have to adjust to the climate. But he says, but, you know, this was supposedly the proper way. Face and hands. Everything else should be covered. So that was a Friday afternoon. When I got out of work, Friday afternoon, I went home. The next day, I woke up and I pulled one of my scarves out of the drawer and put it on, and I've never taken it off since.
في حين لا يشكل التسوق لشراء أحدث الأزياء الغربية أي مشكلة في لاس فيغاس، إلا أن المرأة المسلمة تواجه تحد عند التسوق لشراء ملابس ملائمة لها.
Finding clothing is a very difficult task. Here in Las Vegas, there aren't any shops, at least not that I found. I saw some on a website saying that they were in the vicinity, but I couldn't find it. So finally, I did what any new American girl does, and I went online. Let me show you some of the outfits. I have my dress, all of my dresses come from websites, and my hijabs. I have hijabs. Of course, you see I like the sparklies. And I like colors, so I like everything very colorful. Some dresses have matching hijabs that you can buy with them, and some don't. This dress here, the one I'm wearing, did have a hijab, but I didn't buy it because the trim was white. So I figured white I can find anywhere. I have a jacket, nice and long, it covers all the important parts. And even different cultural styles. That one looks more oriental. So I like that very much because of that. I wear it with a gray hijab. And I like the traditional with the embroidery all the way down. And I have the scarves, different scarves. This one actually came directly from Iran. A friend, a lady I befriended at the mosque gave me that one as a gift. And she comes from Iran. And I also have jewels, hijab jewels. These jewels are just mainly for decoration, but they can be pinned to your scarf, so they are attractive and useful. So you have different types and colors. And to be honest with you, I was never a frilly girl. But after I became Muslim, I realized that a woman is a woman, and a woman should feel and look like a woman. And I do. I feel beautiful. I always feel beautiful. There's another one. A lot of people might think that I've given up a lot to be a Muslim, but I'm telling you, I have not given up anything that is not good. I love to be in the pool. I love to swim. And I even have an Islamic bathing suit. My bathing suit looks like a jacket. It looks almost like a jumpsuit. And it has a bonnet, and it has a hijab. So when I go to the pool, I'm completely covered, looking like a nice girl and enjoying the water. So you see, I didn't give up anything, only the things that were not good for me. And that makes me very happy. I have been very, very lucky. I have not had very many bad experiences. I've had a couple people turn their noses up at me, but never blatant, disrespect. Never. I drove from New York to Las Vegas. It took me 4 days, 3 nights, And I stopped in different gas stations across the country, and I have to tell you that I was very, very proud of the Americans, because I expected something. Going throughout the, across America, I expected something, but nothing. Everybody smiled at me when I walked into a store or a restaurant. Can I help you? There was nothing. I didn't have any bad experiences. Here, sometimes shopping, I might find someone who will turn their nose up at me and, just kind of look at me and, grumble under their breath and keep on walking. But then I make a little dua for them and I ask Allah to help them understand. I think the biggest misconception that Americans have is that Islam is a completely different religion, that it has nothing to do with what Christianity or Judaism has. That Islam is something that just, came from somewhere. I don't know exactly where they think it came from, but that it's not part of them. And I think that when Americans do start studying Islam and reading Islam, and they let it sink into their minds and their souls, that's why we see so many conversions or reversions. There's so many people joining, converting to Islam because they are looking into it. With all the things that have happened in the past few years, they want to know who are these people? What is Islam? And when they study it, then they become enlightened and they see the truth.
Yes, I'm very happy. What I've discovered after I became a Muslim, especially after starting wearing my hijab full time, I feel more at peace and much happier, and a lot less stress in my life than I ever had before. My assistant manager had a problem with it, yes. She didn't like it. She made comments about, well, you were always such a good Christian. Why would you want it to change religion? So I had a little time with her. But once she finally got the paperwork to get approved for me to wear the hijab to work full time, there wasn't a problem. She was concerned, or at least she said, that the customers would respond badly, but most of the customers don't have a problem with it at all. For me, this is a religion where I feel much more a part of the religion, and I like the community, the family feeling of the community. But more than that, I guess, for me, it's the religious aspect, that it all fits together with what I've already learned. It just makes it more complete and more, much better. I just feel like I'm serving Allah better than I was before. No, I don't feel like I'm less of American. This is a very diverse country anyway, so that shouldn't be really a factor, because there are so many religions here. I don't feel that that should be a factor at all.
Unfortunately, it's very hard, almost impossible, to keep the same friends, because my friends were of that world, of where all the things that we as Muslims, that Allah tells us is not right, the world thinks it's okay. It's okay to drink. It's okay to get drunk. It's okay to use drugs. It's only social. You don't do them every day. It's okay. It's okay to be with one man after another. You're a free woman. You can do that. But it isn't. And if you want to keep yourself pure, then you have to let go. There are some things that you have to sacrifice. But I see them. I talk to them sometimes online, or they might call, or I might call them. And we love each other the same. It's just that I can't hang out with them, spend a lot of time with them, because they don't understand. And sometimes you just can't make people understand. You just, you let them be who they are. We can't change anyone. That's up to Allah. He lets who He wants see what He wants them to see. The question about the change of diet did come up with my friends. In my culture, I'm half Puerto Rican and half Mexican. And in the Puerto Rican culture, we use pork very much, almost in everything. So they said, oh dear, you won't be able to eat Hispanic foods anymore. And I said, sure, why not? They said, well, they won't taste the same. I said, well, it might taste a little different, but all my spices are the same. Instead of using pieces of pork in my Spanish rice, then I take pieces of halal sausage, dried sausage. They have a spicy taste to them, kind of like a pepperoni, you know. And I saute them in the oil, and that gives them flavor. Yes, it has a little bit of a different flavor, but it's not that much different. You know, it's just, you kind of like sidestep a couple of things, that's all. My family my brothers were a little nervous about my change of diet because I was the family cook for the holidays. And of course, that consists of great big giant fresh picnic hams. And you have to spice them just right and cook them just right. And I was the expert for that. So they said to me, well, does this mean you can't eat any pork? And I'm like, yeah, I can't eat any pork. Okay. I have 3 brothers. Okay, well, what about if we get you some plastic gloves? I said, no, I can't touch it. Well, what about if we get a plastic bag and put it over your body and open the top up and put your head through it and then get you a plastic, just cover you in plastic everywhere with tape? And no, I can't be in the same room. Well, how about if we hang you out the window? Can you prepare the pork for us and we'll cook it? I said, no. So the questions did come up, but it's not a lot of difference. From my Mexican side, I still make my tacos and my enchiladas the same as I always did, except that instead of getting my hamburger at any store, I get it at the halal store. I get my meats at the halal store. Salam alaikum. How are you?
Fine. Can I help you?
Yes, I'd like 3 pounds of the ground beef. So it's still good. It's still good. My traditions are still intact. I could never say that I regretted this. This is what I've been looking for all my life. All my life. I've had all this Islam, this Muslim beliefs with nowhere to put them, no name to give them. What am I feeling? Am I the only person in the world that feels this? What's wrong with me? Why don't I fit in? And then all of a sudden, here it is. It's Islam. That's what you've been feeling. My child is Islam. You've been feeling what I tell you to feel. I can't regret it. My message would be to anyone watching is keep your heart open, keep your mind open, listen, and feel. Feel with your heart. Because it's not about religions or cultures. It's about people one-on-one. And if we were to treat each other as people on one-on-one, I don't think we would have so many wars. I think we would smile at each other and go, well, I'm having a bad day, I don't know. But if they would just, we, all of us, even, we Muslims, keep our minds and our hearts open and let Allah take care of the rest. That's what my message would be.